Hi there, my name's Jen Malone. I am a licensed social worker at Concord Counseling, and I've been there for about 14 years. And my current position is as an engagement specialist at the East Fifth Avenue Apartments, which is a supportive housing property that we partner with CHN on. And East Fifth is home to 38 formerly homeless women, and I get the opportunity today to share a story that I think is about hope and Concord's role in this story. So the story I'm going to tell you is about a woman named Teresa. Teresa was born and raised in Hawaii, and life started fine, a pretty normal, typical childhood until she reached the age of 16. And at that time, she lost her mother to a massive heart attack. So we can imagine kind of the toll that had on her. 3 years later, her father and one of her sisters were driving in Hawaii during a really bad rainstorm, and they were in a truck, and the truck was in an accident and fell off of a bridge, and they both lost their lives in the accident. So again, you can imagine the toll that it took, and Teresa kind of turned to alcohol to cope and abusive relationships with men. She had some children. She met a man that was in the military, and he was abusive and eventually encouraged her to come to the United States, leaving her entire family behind. And eventually she was able to get away from him and lived about 26 years in the United States, a life of homelessness, alcohol abuse, staying, place to place, some shelters, and eventually she wound up here in Columbus in one of our homeless shelters. And then we were lucky enough to have her come to East Fifth Avenue as a resident a little less than a year ago. So Teresa came here and linked with Concord immediately. She worked with BBR and she secured a job, which I'm glad to say that she still has. She has cut back on her drinking immensely. And what she really wanted to work on was the guilt and shame she had about being disconnected with her family. And so she eventually was able to make some phone calls and locate her family, and was back in communication with them, and they were very happy about that. Her sister had decided that she was going to send Teresa a package, and I can't tell you how excited Teresa was that she was going to get a package. There were going to be pictures in it of her family and of her mother, and she looked forward all week to it. She knew the package was going to come on Friday. She came in from work on Friday, and I happened to be at the front desk, and she asked if her package had come yet. And I said it hadn't, but if it did, we'd let her know. And so she went up to her apartment a little disappointed. So literally about 20 minutes after she went up to her apartment, I look out in the parking lot, and 4 Hawaiian women walk in. And I knew when I saw them in the lot what the situation was. And they walked in, and one looked a lot like Teresa, and I assumed it was her sister. And the minute she stepped in the building, she got really tearful and emotional. And I think it was just that she felt she was finally in the presence of her sister after 26 years, and it just kind of hit her. One of them came to the desk and said, Teresa lives here, and she's expecting a package, and we're the package. And it was a beautiful thing, and I asked how they wanted to do it, if they wanted to go upstairs or bring her down here, and they wanted to go to her apartment. So I walked them up, and they had a video camera. So I videoed it, and we went to her apartment, and she actually was next door at a neighbor's. And so they went ahead in the apartment, and I went and got Teresa from the neighbor, and I said, hey, your package is here, I put it in your apartment. And she literally came out and jogged down the hallway to the apartment. She was so excited. She opened her apartment door, and there they were, some cousins and a sister. And Teresa, of course, couldn't go in the apartment. She just was overcome with emotion and started crying and was leaning against the hallway. And each woman, one at a time, put a lei around her neck and hugged her and held her and cried with her. And it was moving, and I'm just really glad that I got to be a part of it. So I just share that today, just to tell you the role that Concord can have in people's lives and helping them with guilt and shame and reconnecting with people and just really rebuilding their lives. So again, it was honored to be there, and I hope that this story gives you a little bit of hope. I'm actually going to introduce you to Teresa real fast. It's nice to put a face with a name sometimes, so come on in. Thanks for letting us share your story. Give them a look at the camera.